Hello friends, this is Promi and welcome back to the Kerbal Commonwealth Space Agency. After our last episode, I went and checked out these contracts that didn't seem to complete even though they really should have. And it looked like there was actually a problem with a contract configurator. So I did an update with that, which regenerated all our available contracts. But these two are still here, and they are still broken. So we are just going to decline them, or cancel them rather. Take a little bit of a reputation hit, but we can sustain it. So if we look at our other available contracts here, we've got quite a few field research contracts. We still have the one to crash a probe on the Mune. This one's to crash a probe on Paul, which won't happen for a while, certainly. And let's see, what else do we have? Temperature scans on Kerbin. So for the Mune, survey scans. There are laser ablation readings for the moving parts expert group. And laser scans in various biomes, and mystery goo in various biomes. Well, I did want to take an airplane to the North Pole, so all this stuff should be pretty good to get. So rare science results from Kerbin's grassland, that's another splashdown one, so I don't think we'll be grabbing that, but certainly take this laser one. And mystery goo. Temperature scans below, above. This last one here I don't think we can currently complete with our current technologies. Maybe with a jet plane once we get that sorted out, but I don't think I'll take that one for now. Surface surveys for moving parts, we can probably do that, so laser scans on the surface. Okay. And alright, so that should be good for now. Let's go back to our space center. And let's head to the spaceplane hangar so we can begin constructing a new aircraft. So I wanted to make a aircraft that can take quite a few crew, so we're going to use a number of these Mark 1 inline cockpits. We're not going to start with them though. We are going to start with the cubic octagonal strut. So the reason I'm doing this is because I want to make a twin fuselage airplane. So this is going to be sort of the center of the wing. So this is going to be like the White Knight that launches Spaceship 1 and Spaceship 2, or what other examples are there? The F-82 Twin Mustang, or I think there was a prototype dual fuselage BF-109 as well. So there have been a number of examples. And to offset these with snapping on, that just makes them line up properly. Okay, so we have the base structure here, and now we can put these cockpits on. And now I can bring them in to the center as if they were directly attached to each other. Alright, let's put some fuel tanks on here. So I'll put 2 on the front and then another 4 on the back. I'll use the advanced nose cones for the tail pieces. And for our engines, we're going to use this new turboprop, which we got recently at the same time as the jet engines. They are somewhat more powerful than the radial engines, and they also have peak efficiency at a higher speed. So we're obviously too close together here. So let's do some offsetting. We need to grab the right piece. See, I think maybe the I-beams would be the best piece for this. We should grab these octagonal struts. It's a bit better. I think it might be a little bit too far still, so let's spread out the cockpits a little bit as well. squish them back together. There we go. Okay, for wings, we're going to make this have very long and straight wings. So high aspect ratio. We'll be putting some more in the middle to bridge the two sides. Okay, let's use a little type C on the end. And we can crank it upwards a little bit. I'll leave snapping on. So, maybe not. Don't want it cranked up quite that much. There we go. Okay, so for our tail, let's use these big slab pieces like that. And then we can slide them down, make them fit. Some elevons on here for rudders. For a horizontal stabilizer, we'll do a high bridge between these two parts. Not sure. Let's put this up top first. No, that's not gonna work. Let me think a moment. I want these to be straight. So, I wonder if I put snapping on, if it'll work out. Is that straight? Yeah, I think it's pretty close to it. Let's see if we can get these to touch each other. Not quite. And we will put a little bit of extra on the outside here. These type Ds. I think symmetry. Okay, so we'll rotate these. And that looks good, and then translate them into alignment with the center part. Down and in through the tail. Okay, we'll put some elevons on the back here for our elevators. Maybe I should make these longer. Put another type C back here. Yeah, because then we could put another set of elevators on. Let's make sure it lines up right. There we go. I think I want to move them back. Just so that the tails aren't clipping into our elevators. Okay, now I'm going to use some more C-type connectors in the middle to bridge these two fuselage sections. There's quite a bit of overlap there, so we'll have to translate them apart. I think I actually want to make this a shoulder-mounted wing, so we'll bring the wings up. Okay, so let's bring these ones up as well. Does that line up? You can kind of use the logo as a guide here. Yeah, I think that's about right. Now I do want this piece to clip through the wing, so let's turn snapping on. I can do it with both. Okay, that's the wrong direction. That's better. Still not quite right, so let's bring the wing up a little more. Then in. Okay. Now this looks a little messy, so let's toggle the flag on all of these, just because it's clipping into the wings anyway. Okay, now our main wing needs some control surfaces. Put lots on here. Maybe 4. Probably won't use them all as ailerons, but we'll want to use some of them as flaps and spoilers. Okay, now with the XA1 Swift, those parachutes in the back were quite handy. This is definitely not going to be the fastest aircraft, but I think the utility of having some drag chutes is quite good, so I'm going to stick them on the base of the tail here. Resets them in a little bit. Okay, so we'll need some landing gear. I think I'll put some of the standard little ones in the back to be sort of a quad gear setup. Recess it in a little bit. Now I'll use our favorite adjustable gear for the front. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Don't think we'll need to angle these at all. It should be plenty stable. We need to strut this thing up a bit. There's one thing I did learn in my simulator trials, was that this kind of setup is quite floppy if you don't reinforce the structure. So put some in the back, and then I'll need to sort of tape the horizontal stabilizers together. Something like that. And then under the wing here, this part's going to be a high stress area. Turn off snapping for this. Get some cross beams across the fuselages. Or that one will go to those two things. Actually, that's not quite what I wanted. More like that. And we can tape these two wing sections together as well. The camera's a little bit tricky. Is that actually doing what we want it to do? Yeah, I'm not sure that's working out. Maybe across the back here? Yeah, that looks effective. Yeah, I think we'll put one more on here for the middle part. Just make sure that the cubic octagonal strut is attached directly to these fuselages. And then because these wings are very long, I'm going to put a strut going from the fuselage to the outer part of the wing. And well, we'll definitely need our science experiments. Let's put some mystery goo. Hang the mystery goo pods from the wings. That'd look kind of cool, but do kind of want our scientists to be able to reach them easily. So maybe I should put them behind the wing like this. And we can recess them in a bit. Put our barometer and thermometer on here as well. I think I'll only include one of each. Put them next to one of the rear cabins. Okay, and we'll also need our laser light imager. Now, where to put this one? It needs to face the ground. I wonder if it'll work out if we put it here. Probably want two of them if they're going to be in the airstream. Let's bring this thing down to ground level and then see how this performs. And that one does not appear to be mirroring correctly, but anyway, let's do a systems check. Okay, I think that'll work out. I'm not sure what to do about this one though. Maybe it would be better to put it in the back, just behind the gear. Maybe symmetry will work better this way. Doesn't seem to be, because the direction the laser is facing is not properly mirrored. I could mount this thing between the wings, just a single one of them. Could potentially solve our issues. Could mount it directly to the root part. Let's see. Okay, now I want to drop it down a little bit. Let's do a systems check and see how this... Oh yeah, that'll work out. Let's just fiddle with it a bit. Try to make it look as good as possible. I think if we make that rearward box look like it's anchored into the wing. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, we need to set up our control surfaces. So let's start with the elevators. Need to do the rudders now. And the ailerons. I don't think I need all 4 of these to actually be ailerons. I think that would be pretty overkill for roll capabilities. So I'm going to set the most inward and the second most outward as not any kind of control surface, and they will only be flaps and spoilers. And I'll set these innermost as, I guess they'll be flaps. And this one will also be a flap. And then these ones can double as spoilers. Okay, let's make sure our parachutes are in a different stage from our engines. I think I can actually set, because we have access to the basic action groups. Oh no, that was in the VAB. Well, we need to launch from the VAB anyway, because the spaceplane hangar can't handle something of this size and complexity. So we'll need to roll it out of the VAB and then wheel it over to the runway from there. I did notice I needed a bit more braking torque when I was testing these sort of designs. Okay, I don't think we can actually put our flag on any of the things here, but no, maybe we can. We haven't actually checked the center of lift and center of mass yet. It does look like these things can come forward. So let's play with them a little bit. That looks better. Going to need to fix our struts. So let's fix that up. Except I need to have symmetry on. Okay, everything else should be alright. These ones need to be fixed. Okay, that looks pretty good. Let's put a little bit of an angle of incidence on our wings. Just a few degrees. Okay. Need a ladder on here. We'll probably need to do the whole kneeling thing again to actually manage to get our pilots in and out, because we still don't have those collapsible ladders yet. Sort of wondering if I should move them further down in the tech tree, because this game's kind of silly that we don't actually have those yet. Might put them on the alloys or advanced alloys nodes or something like that. Okay, we'll probably still have to kneel the plane, but that'll help our pilots get in and out. Let's look at Ferrum's stability derivatives, make sure everything is green. Seems to be. So that's good. Okay, now it needs a name. We'll call it the SA. Are we at 4 or 3? S3. SA3 Albatross. And this one, let's see, we have twin fuselages bounded together. So let's call it Friends Eternal. Alright. So we'll save that. And can't launch it here, so let's head over to the VAB. Okay, let's go to the VAB. Okay, we're in the VAB. Let's load up our craft. Here we go. Now let's, I think if I face it towards the back, then it'll be facing the right way to roll down the crawler way once we bring it out. You just try to grab the root part. Let's change our flag first. There we go. I think that should be correct. So let's head to the launch pad and see how this goes. Oh wait, first, crew. Valentina is still recovering from her space flight, so let's bring all the rest of them. Holly, Bill, and Bob. Okay, let's launch. Okay, we are facing the right direction. Everything seems to be okay. So, let's turn the brakes on to begin with. Now let's turn steering and motors on our adjustable gear so we can bring this thing over to the runway. Let's make sure we don't run out of electric charge, but it looks like we have lots. Okay, easy does it. Down the runway we go. Oh, steering is inverted, it seems. Okay, we're off the ramp. And this will take a couple minutes to get over to the runway, so I'll speak to you again once I reach the end of the runway. Okay, I got stuck on this hill, and it's a little bit too much for the motors, so I'm just going to start our engines fairly low. Start them up. Got that turbine sound, quite distinct from our piston-driven engines. See if we're getting enough thrust. Getting a bit. See if we can overcome this hill. Pedal up a bit more. Come on. Okay, here we go. Okay, throttle down again. Okay, we have defeated the hill, so we're gonna make our way the rest of the way to the runway. Okay, we have reached the runway. We're just getting lined up now. Just get right in the middle, and then put the brakes on and prepare for takeoff. Okay. Now, is there anything we need to check here? I want to make sure everyone's in the right seat. Pretty much Bob is the main concern. Okay, because he needs to be back here by the... Oh dear. Let's, oops. Let's shut down our engines. So we're going to need to kneel the plane to get Bob back in. Now who is actually in this one? Holly, okay. The Holly will want to get into the front because she's one of our pilots. Take over for Jeb when he gets tired or needs to have a snack. So let's EVA with her. She seems to be stuck. Maybe if we... Okay, that looks better. Oh, and she fell off too. Well, let's lower or raise the gear anyway. bouncing on that propeller now. Probably not the best thing for it. Yep, something definitely odd about that wing in the middle. I'll spam the climbing key until this works. You're almost there, Bob. Board. Okay. Everyone is set. Let's get this gear back out. There we go. Okay, well, that was a bit fussy. Now let's prepare for takeoff. So we want full throttle and stability assist. Let's turn our engines back on. Okay, once they're spooled up, we should be good for takeoff. Alright, let's release the brakes. Let's get our improved chase cam on. Should be able to lift off at somewhere between 80 and 100 meters per second. And up we go. Okay, gear in. Let's retract our flaps. Okay, where are we going anyway? Okay, so all those sites we have to survey are up there, so that's pretty good because we need to go to the polar regions anyway. There was a bunch of different biomes we wanted to visit, so turn ourselves in a northward direction. Holly and Jeb certainly enjoying themselves. Bill, not so much. He prefers to stay on the ground. What about Bob? Yeah, Bob likes the ground as well. Look at our contracts here. Ooh. Contract panel lagged me out there pretty bad. I guess I've got a lot going on here. You need mountains, highlands, tundra, ice-capped shores. Highlands, badlands, tundra, ice-capped shores. Well, I think the shores and the highlands and probably the mountains might be a better... It might be better to do that with a rover. Shores are quite near, and highlands and mountains are not so conducive to landing. And then we've got our laser ablation scans to do up at that northern region for the moving parts expert group, I think that was for. Was there desert on either of these? I don't think so. Just Badlands, yeah. Okay. Go away, panel. There we go. Okay, so that places on our nav ball. If I point directly in its direction, I think that should work. Yeah, you can see it through the planet down there. I'm not sure the range of this aircraft, but it should be pretty good. These engines are efficient, and we have 6 tanks of fuel. But I'll keep an eye on our fuel, and if we hit about halfway, I'll head home at that point. And if we still have more to do, then we can refuel and head back out. Let's get the pilot assist out. So we can use the wing leveler. I've changed this a little bit. It's now bank control rather than wing leveling. And I guess since I updated it, it changed my hotkeys. So I'll need to fix that. Well, I'll fuss with that later. Let's look at the map again. So we are here, and we're heading that way. So we're just gonna pass a lot of grasslands. So I think we probably won't have a whole lot to do until we see tundra. So I'm going to sort out my pilot assist and fly the long way up to Kerbin's Arctic, and I will speak to you again once we are there. Okay, we're coming up on our target areas now. Actually, was worried that it was in these crazy mountain ranges we passed over, and that the experts group had sent us into some sort of death trap, but actually seems to be, well, it's not the most ideal area. It's pretty bumpy, but good thing we brought the drag chutes. Try to slow down as much as possible and land near one of these. And if we have to, we can drive the plane around a little bit with the wheel motors. So we're getting fairly slow. Let's bring the gear out. I think we'll go after this spot first. Seems to be the easiest. I'm not sure what biome this is. It kind of looks like grasslands, but it could be tundra. I did get a crew report from over the tundra on the way here, along with a temperature scan from above the highlands, which I had thought that we had already. So I swear I've gotten temperature scans from over the highlands on multiple occasions, but Science Alert said I needed it, so... Okay, we are on final approach to our landing zone. Sub 100 meters per second now. So just need to gently guide this in. Just before we hit the ground, we can pop our braking chutes. Braking shoots away. Brake, brake, brake. There's our sight. And we are landed. Okay. Let's turn our brakes on. Turn our engines off. Looks like we've got some experiments to do. Let's see what's available. Mystery goo. So Kerbin's Highlands. Okay. We also have a laser ablation scan. See that do its thing? Study shows that the Kerbin Highlands are composed of much the same material as the Kerbin Lowlands. Alright, and are we still in our region? I'm not actually sure. Looks like there's only 3 markers now, so we must have gotten the 2 things we had to do. Actually, what did we have to do here? Contract parameter complete. Survey data. Surface survey. I guess it doesn't actually matter which experiment we do. Alright, well that's good. So what else do we have here? We got laser surface scan from the Highlands. And let's see. Mystery goo from the Highlands. Laser ablation. Oh, okay, yeah, these were all laser ablation readings. For some reason I thought they were EVA reports or something. Okay, so we just have to go to that one. That one's 4.5 kilometers away. It's, about 8. That one's 5. Alright. Well, I think it'll take a little bit of driving or short flight hops to get over to those other ones. Those auroras look quite nice. I'm sure nighttime will arrive before we're at the end of this mission. We'll see some nice aurora in the nighttime sky. But anyway, we will continue our adventures in the next episode. So I hope you've enjoyed this. This has been Promi. Thanks for watching.